Right, guys, hello. Welcome to Generation Platinum. Today on Just Two Friends Talking Gaming, we're going to talk about games that should and haven't yet deserved a sequel. So we're going to choose two games each, talk about why they deserve a sequel, talk about their previous games, and discuss. We're doing it blind today, so the other person doesn't know what the other person's talking about. Jack's chosen two. He's probably going to be a bit out there today, I think. I'll probably be a little bit more tame. Jack, do you want to start with the first game?
Yeah, first thing I want to start off with is well done for taking 6 attempts to do the intro.
Yeah, well, they're not going to see that.
Well, there might be 1 or 2 at the end stuck in for fun. But 6 times is impressive, man. It's you're doing good. I'm really proud of you today.
Thanks. I'm trying my best.
I'm trying. So you want me to start the first one, yeah?
Yeah, go ahead.
So,
yeah.
I want you to stick with me here. Close your eyes.
Okay.
It's 2001. How old are you?
I was 8.
Yeah. I'm trying to quickly do mental maths in my head. It doesn't matter how old I was. I guess you're 3 years older than me, right? So you're
something like that.
5. Yeah. And sorry, I'm 5, not you're 5. So and a game comes out, and you get to play as these beautiful animated characters called the Simpsons.
Oh, I know what you're going to go for now. Yes.
What,
continue.
And what game would that be?
Hit and Run.
See, this is why you're wrong.
Is it going to be Road Rage?
That game was average. Simpsons Road Rage. The superior Simpsons game, right? All these people on the internet talking about how they want Hit and Run to come back and how good Hit and Run is. And I'll tell you a dirty little secret. It's fine. It's an average game. All you motherfuckers were sleeping on the Simpsons Road Rage. And that is my first game that deserves a sequel.
Road Rage.
You play Simpsons Road Rage?
Yeah. I used to play it with my sister and her best friend at the time, and fuck me, that game was good. I actually think about I might agree with you with the Hit and Run Road Rage battle then, because we're on the right side of history. Do you know what I mean? I know what you mean.
Hit and Run was so average. No, Hit and Run was decent, but for me growing up,
it's a different type of game, wasn't it?
Oh, they're very different types of games, yeah.
Road Rage was... As well as Hit and Run was... They were trying to kind of be like an RPG, really, weren't they? It was like an adventure game.
So I guess I probably didn't play it when it came out, 2001. I think, how old am I in 2001? Yeah, I'm 5, so I almost definitely didn't play it. But I did play it eventually on the PS2. And I adored that game. So when we were thinking about topics today... It took me a while, actually, to think of that one. I was thinking, I'll save it for my honourable mentions, but there's something about that game that was just so good. Obviously, so for those that didn't play it, Road Rage, was let's be honest, it was a Crazy Taxi knockoff.
Oh, yeah,
set 100%. In the Simpsons world. I had several maps of different areas of Springfield. You could play as all kinds of characters from the classics like Homer, Bart, Lisa, etc. But you also could play as Barney, Krusty the Clown.
Oh yeah, you had the.
I think you could play as Mole Man. Maybe, I don't know. I know you could.
I think you had to just pick him up.
Stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember playing as Mr. Plow. I think it was Homer, but playing in the Mr. Plow. And so good.
Bart had his little rocket car.
Yeah.
I watched some gameplay this morning, and I might have to rebust out my PS2. I think I still have the game.
I was just hoping that I was just looking. I don't think you can play it on anything new.
No, it went to backwards compatibility for 360. So if you have a 360 lying about, you can get it via backwards compatibility with the Xbox.
Sold it the other day, literally 4 weeks ago.
But so I think I still own the PS2 game, and I definitely still own my PS2. So maybe I'll try and figure out if I can record that or something somehow, because I'd love to play that again.
That'd be so good.
Even if I can't record it, I might just play it for fun. But yeah, so the game premise is simple, right? You're playing as one of the Simpsons characters in a wide variety. Fucking had a stroke midway through that. Lost my train of thought. Yeah, so on a large variety of maps. And it was simple. You start off, you're racing against the timer, and you've got to pick up various Simpsons characters and drop them off at that location, and they'll pay you for it, and depending how quick you could do it, they'll give you more money. And there was also little bonuses like don't hit traffic on the way and stuff like that. And, you know, I remember just spending hours memorizing the shortcuts in those games. When I watched gameplay this morning, instantly it was just like memory unlocked. I knew exactly when they picked up the first characters. Like, I know exactly right now. If you were to put a PS2 in front of me, I would know exactly the route without having the little like hand direction thing that they used.
I'm looking at pictures now.
I've spent so many hours playing that game, and I think it's one of those that if it were to get a sequel, and it won't, and I'll go into why it won't in a minute, it probably shouldn't be a 50, 60 quid game, or if you're American, dollars.
Dollars.
Doll hairs. Now I'm thinking of, I now pronounce you Chuck and Larry, right? That's the Rob Schneider way. He's like, doll hairs. Well, that's a lot of doll hairs. I'm not sure a 50, 60 quid game. I feel like that's a nice... I think the industry's moving away from this term, but it would be a nice AA game where it's like 20, 30 quid. It doesn't need to be anything special because, you know, essentially it is going to be the same thing over and over again. But me and you here are big fans of that cheapish 20, 30 minute game where, you know, I have 20, 30 minutes before I need to cook. I have 20, 30 minutes before bed. I've just done a huge long mission in a video game. I don't want to do another, but I still want to play for the next 30 minutes. And we love those kind of games where you can just jump in and 30 minutes is all it takes to do a round. And you jump back out again. And I think Simpsons Road Rage would be a perfect example of one of those games. But it's never going to get a sequel for multiple reasons. First being is I don't remember when there was the last Simpsons game. Proper Simpsons game.
Simpsons Tapped Out would be the biggest one recently, I think.
Mobile gaming isn't real gaming, is it? So,
well, no.
I'm just kidding. But yeah, so we had Simpsons Tapped Out, which was good. But like, I mean, when was the last console Simpsons game or PC? But
it would probably have been the movie tie-in, right?
There was a game for that?
I think so.
You know what? I have this magical tool in front of me called Google. Give
Simpsons,
me 2 seconds.
The movie video game. Yeah, I think it was called the Simpsons Game.
Simpsons Game. Let's have a look. List of Simpsons video games. Here we go. Wikipedia. So yeah, you had Tapped Out, which came out 2012/2013, depending on the platinum. Okay, the Simpsons Arcade, released August the 16th, 2021.
What was that?
There's no link to it. I wonder if it's like an actual arcade machine. Yeah, so on Wikipedia, there's no link to the actual game. It's just greyed out.
It's like it's a mobile game. Yeah,
okay,
mobile.
The publisher's Arcade 1UP Arcade 1UP is a computer hardware production company that specialises in the production of working...
It is an arcade machine.
So yeah, so it's a proper machine. So if we're talking excluding mobile, if we're talking console, then yes, you're right. The Simpsons Game, October the 30th, 2007, sorry. So it's been a long while, basically.
Yeah.
So I think it's clear that if we saw another Simpsons game, it would be probably on mobile. I don't think they've got any intentions to do another console game anytime soon. I was also looking at the studio who made it. I can't remember their name, but they fell victim to what happened a few years ago where Activision just took all their studios and made them code developers. If you remember this?
No.
Yeah, it happened a few years ago. It happened to the team that made the latest Crash 4. I can't remember if that was Bionox, but that was also one of them. They made the crappy, amazing Spider-Man film games. But yeah, Ubisoft. Sorry, talking about crappy moves, I automatically thought Ubisoft. Activision took all their studios that worked on these kind of weird side games or whatever, and basically said, you're all helping on COD moving forward.
Lame.
So that studio's last game, I think, was Prototype 1 and 2. So that was 2014, I want to say. So, 8 years later, I don't foresee them in particular going back and doing a Simpsons game. Also turns out, funny enough, that a lawsuit was raised against Simpsons Road Rage.
Oh, really?
For being a crazy taxi clone. So...
but everything's a clone of everything these days, isn't it? Like, it's hard to get an original story.
Your key words, though, there these days. Back in 2001, not so much, right?
Yeah, I guess.
So Crazy Taxi went after them, which is Sega, right? So I think so. They settled out of court for an undisclosed figure, but because of that, I can't imagine there'll be a sequel, even if they wanted to. And whether I like it or not, Hit and Run is clearly the more favourite game, and that's not getting a sequel or a remaster, so I don't think a lesser game like Road Rage would either.
No, I don't think so. I think a lot more people played Hit and Run just because it's a couple of years later. I think the Xbox had just come out when Road Rage came out. So it was a couple of years later when, gaming was a little bit more readily available. Plus, you had people that grew up with Simpsons were a little bit older as well, so more people would buy it. It's a shame though because they're both really good games, and I really enjoyed playing both, like hours on end. It's just it's a shame.
Yeah, I mean it's been 21 years since Road Rage, so I mean crazy stuff has happened, but it's not getting a sequel.
No.
And to be honest, who out there is asking for a Simpsons game right now? Do you know what I mean? Like, there doesn't
I can't
seem
remember
to
the
be
last
any...
time I watched Simpsons, let alone played it.
Yeah, me too. I mean, the last time I would have played it would have been Tapped Out. I was into Tapped Out for a little bit.
Oh, same. I spent money on that game, like real money.
And you give me shit for spending Fortnite money.
Yeah, but I was a student and it was the government's money, not mine. So.
Not that you would admit that on a podcast that'll go live to YouTube.
No, it's fine. They don't need to know. I'm paying back my student loan.
Are
slowly.
You?
Yeah.
I didn't think you earned enough. Do I earn enough? Am I
Savage.
Student loan?
Tell everyone.
No, I didn't.
No. I don't, but it's just good to pay off some, isn't it? It's good for your credit score and jazz like that. So
I've gone for the opposite, and you guys aren't having my fucking money.
I don't think I had a choice.
You do.
How much do you have to earn? We're going off on a little bit of a tangent, but how much is it?
I think it's like 28k.
Oh, okay.
Well, let's put it this way. I'm not going to say how much, but you know how much I earn, and I'm not paying my student loan.
Yeah.
And I have a decent-ish paying job, so yeah, maybe it's 25k. I don't know, but yeah, I'm not paying mine at all. I only ever pay mine when I get a bonus.
Fair enough.
Then it takes me over the amount. So, they're not getting my money anytime soon.
Yeah.
See Biden out here cancelling fucking student loans.
That'd be nice.
He did. It's fucking great. I want it. I want that shit. Bring it to the UK. Anyway, Simpsons Road Rage.
Yes. Okay, who is your favourite playable character? Just off the top of your head, without like...
Bart was the first thing that came to my head. I loved the design of this rocket car.
Yeah. I think it was... Didn't it go over to Hit and Run as well, that rocket car? You could have it in Hit and Run.
Yeah, absolutely. But it's one of those things that's off the top of my head there. If I sat and looked at all the playable characters, I might feel differently because I don't really remember it. I mean, I haven't thought about this game in a very long time.
Yeah. No, neither had I. I'd forgotten about it till you were like, Road Rage.
Well, yeah, this wasn't my first... Yeah, like I said earlier, this wasn't my first game I was going to say, but it just ran. I tell you, I'll be honest. I googled games that didn't get a sequel because I had my two picks, but I wanted to see if there was better ones. And then I saw Road Rage. I saw Hit and Run, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna cause some trouble and say Hit and Run isn't worth your time. It's Road Rage. That's where it's at.
Yeah. I remember there was a couple of people I liked playing as, and that was I liked playing as Willie because he had the tractor.
And you loved Willie.
I love it. I love Willie, and I love a good Scotsman. So just perfect. And Professor Frink had the hover car, didn't he? So that was always good for my little sci-fi nerd boy. 8 years old, loving Star Wars and Star Trek, just like, ooh, a hover car. So, yeah.
This is exactly what I'm saying, man, because I said Bart and I had completely forgot about Frink. So when you just said that, I was like, actually, maybe he was my favourite. So yeah, I'd have to go back through the list one day.
Maybe one day we'll play it.
I think we should. I think there's a thing to be said about playing some old PS2 games, but I'm techie, but I'm not that techie where off the top of my head I would know how to do it.
Might be an emulator somewhere.
It might be, or I don't know if a capture card would do it. I don't know. We'll see.
No idea.
People did it, you know. People have done it, so there's got to be a way, right?
Definitely.
But yeah, so that's my first game that I want a sequel for, but I know I'm never getting.
Nice. It's a good pick.
What about you? What's your first one?
Okay. Now, first of all, I'm going to tell you, and I want you to tell me if you've actually even ever heard of it, okay? So it's Jadeempire.
The name's familiar. I wouldn't have played it.
Okay, so basically, Jadeempire is by Bioware, the guys who did Knights of the Old Republic originally. And basically, it's a game where you play as like this spirit monk, and you have to overthrow Jadeempire.
I'm Googling.
And yeah, do it. And you have to overthrow the emperor, the Jade Emperor, who's like, I don't know, he's basically a dictator. And it's set in a world where, like, Chinese mythology, so like the strange frogs and like genies and dragons and stuff like that, they live side by side with humans. And I think you had multiple people you could start the game as, and they had slightly different ways of fighting, so they had different magic attacks or different melee weapons. So you had a quarterstaff. I always chose the guy with the quarterstaff. But basically, yeah, you had to. It was a linear narrative, and anyone who's played Knights of the Old Republic knows that there's certain things you can do to change the story. I know it was one of the first games to have like multiple different endings based on your choices throughout the game. It came out on the original Xbox, only Xbox, and then a few years later, it came out as a special edition on the PC. But yeah, it was really cool. So you went through this narrative, visited different locations, picked up different people that you could play with. So you picked up these party members, which all had their own different abilities. Like there was this one girl, I think her name was Wildflower, and she was just a little girl, but she had this like demon inside her, and
don't we all?
Well, yeah, but that was her like fighting ability. So whenever there was a battle, this demon would come out and she would fight as the demon, and it was just small things like that which made it amazing. They created a language for it. I can't remember what it was called, but I remember reading about the fact that they created this language. But it also had like it had dialogue-based options like Mass Effect. That Mass Effect was Bioware, I'm pretty sure. And also had this morality system that you see in loads of RPGs these days. So like, Red Dead has it, Mass Effect has it. Most games have this, choice. Like when you make a bad choice or you make a negative choice against someone, it affects your person, your character. And this was one of the first games to do that as well. So as one, it was a, what do you call it when it's like a front runner? It was, it was really leading the charge to these new new age games that we see these days. I mean, Bioware also did like Dragon Age, and that's still going. Like a new one's coming out in the next couple of years, I'm sure. And it was really with Knights of the Old Republic it set this foundation for my favourite type of games. And I remember playing it a couple of years after it came out. I didn't really know what it was. And it was back in the day where Blockbuster was kind of it was struggling. And I remember they started selling games. And they started selling games really, really cheap. And that's where I also picked up Mass Effect.
This is where I picked up Saints Row 2.
Nice.
When they started selling games in there as they started like, falling,
They were like a $5. It was like, oh, pick it up, cool. That's 40 hours of gameplay right there. As a kid, like I don't know when it came out. Let me just double. Do you have it? You said you googled it. Is it? Do you have it on your screen?
No, I googled imaged it. Unfortunately,
that's fine. Yeah, it's old. It's like 2007, 2005. And yeah, okay. It would be tough to play it now. I've never gone back to play it in my adulthood, but it was just very cool. Like I really enjoyed it. It's a shame you haven't heard of it.
I googled it. I looked at the images. Fucking, this means nothing to me.
Yeah, it's a shame. It really didn't like. It didn't get very big. The main reason they don't have a sequel coming out. It was in development, and then it got cancelled, and that was 20 odd years ago, not 20. It was like 15 years ago, and they basically said like. They're not going to bring out a new one because it didn't get panned. Like people who played it loved it, but there was the size of the audience wasn't as big as they wanted, and they decided to make Knights of the Old Republic 2 instead, the Sith Lords, which is a fantastic game, but I don't know if. They could have done so much with this game. Even like nowadays, if they were to bring out a game like this, it would be amazing. Because also another cool thing was like Knights of the Old Republic had a turn-based combat, kind of like Final Fantasy. But Jadeempire, they scrapped that and they went straight for button mashing. Well, I think it was more combos, but whenever you have a combo button mash kind of game, you do end up just mashing. But yeah, no, it was fantastic, and it was just so cool. And they just, Bioware, is Bioware even a thing anymore?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they're still Bioware.
Yeah, but do they even bring out games anymore?
Yeah, they did Mass Effect Andromeda, didn't they?
I don't know.
They did all the Mass Effects, I think. Oh, such a fan you are.
I thought they had I thought they had a big issue recently where they kind of shut down. Or was that something else?
I don't know.
Don't know.
Well,
no, they're still going. I've just googled it. They're still going.
Yeah, Andromeda shit the bed for them, and I think that's their last game, right? I don't think they did the remasters for the Mass Effect trilogy. I might be wrong.
They did.
They did. Okay, and then
they at least announced
the newest Mass Effect.
Oh, and they're doing Dragon Age 4 as well.
Yeah, they're still going.
They're still going. They're just not doing as much as they used to back in the day. But yeah that's my game.
To make.
Yeah, that's true. That's my game.
Yeah, I don't know with that one. I've never seen it, so it's hard for me to say anything. I don't have a lot on that one, unfortunately.
I didn't think so. No offense to you, but it's it's not a very well known game. Like, I don't know anyone who's played it.
I've never heard anyone say this game until you. I thought I recognised the name, but when I saw the images, I was like, no, I don't. You're the first person in my 20-something years I've been alive that I ever heard that game. Like, I tried to look at the box art. I don't think, like, it's not jogging any memories of, like, oh, I might have seen that in a Blockbuster or a Third Place. If you know what Third Place is, you come from my area. But,
I don't know, what's Third Place?
It's Third Place, which is now, I think, Fourth Place, and which might actually be Fifth Place now. It's a little store where I grew up. I don't think it's a franchise. I've never seen one anywhere else. That was a game trade-in and sell place. Trying to compete with Blockbuster back in the day.
What was the other one? There was one where I came from. I can't remember what it was called. It was like Electronic Games or something.
EA Sports.
Yeah, it's in the game.
It's in the game.
EA Sports. Big!
I'll obviously, I'll go next, but do you think I'll know your second game?
100%. Big game.
Oh, okay.
There's
Big game.
Big game. I've spoken to you about it before.
Yeah, but I don't listen to you most of the time.
Yeah, that's fine. Nobody does. But it's big game. Big game.
Should we,
cool.
Do you want to hear my second one?
I really do. And I'm just trying to think what it could be.
Okay. I'll let you see if you can guess it from this. If I were to say Insomniac Games to you, could you guess what game I would want a sequel?
Is it Infamous?
No, that was Sucker Punch.
Oh, is it Spyro?
No.
Oh, I have no idea then.
I focused my two picks on games that never got a sequel.
Okay.
So I say Insomniac Games. Most people would say what? Spider-Man, right? They'd say Spider-Man, and then
I'd say Spyro, but yeah.
And then they would also say Ratchet and Clank.
Mm.
Some people would say Resistance.
Oh, that was going to be on my list.
Yeah, I never really played those games.
I
would say the Xbox exclusive Sunset Overdrive. Do you know this game?
I know it, but I never played it.
You should do, because I didn't shut the fuck up about it when we were at uni together.
Sunset Overdrive. Wait, we did play this. Is this the one where you get the points based on shooting?
There is something called
Or is that Bulletstorm?
That was Bulletstorm, I think.
Oh, okay.
You've definitely heard me talk about this. You've definitely seen me play this.
100% know the game and 100% seen it. I've just never played it off my own back.
Yeah. So, fast forward to second year at uni. Fast forward. Back forward. Rewind. We rewind.
Imagine
That's what I was looking for.
Rewind.
Back to my second year at university. And I get my very first Xbox. And I can't remember if I played this via Games with Gold or maybe it was I bought it in the sale. I don't know. But I take a punt on this little game called Sunset Overdrive. And boy, is that the closest I've ever been to thinking I'm going to get all the achievements in an Xbox game. I absolutely adored this game. I didn't because, I'm not a loser. And I've also had sex. So I'd much rather prefer to get trophies. Do you know what I mean?
Well, yeah. Without a doubt.
Only virgins go after Xbox achievements. Oh, you want to see my gamer score? No. Do you want to see my JPEG of a platinum? Because that's much cooler.
Because, yeah. I think my gamer score is about 340. That's fuck all.
20-something thousand. But yeah. So I played this game with Sunset Overdrive, and it is just so much fun. So it's an action-adventure shooter game. It's open world. And it's got a very Deadpool vibe to it. Not necessarily the character, but in that maybe Saints Row would have been actually a better comparison. But it's very over the top. It's very silly. It doesn't take itself too seriously. It breaks the fourth wall. And it's so much fun. It's very fast paced. The big thing about the combat was I don't think there was any stealth. I don't think you weren't encouraged to walk around shooting. It was to be on the move non-stop because Insomniac had implemented what arguably could be said as the foundations for Spider-Man, right? And they had this traversal system where the idea was to not be on the ground as much as possible. You're grinding on rails, you're wall running, you're jumping. Maybe there was gliding. It's early in the morning. It's not, but it feels it. I don't know. I can't remember if they had gliding. But the whole point is to be constantly on this move and to be flying around in this open world, shooting mutants. So the plot was some company, I think, called Fizco, had an energy drink beverage, and then at a concert, it turns everyone into mutants.
Excellent.
And you got to go around fighting the mutants, taking down Fizzco, all the while focusing on getting these combos of grinding between rails, jumping between buildings, and a lot of... I think they might have even said this in an interview. I don't think they had Spider-Man at the time, but as some kind of nice fate or bit of luck, they ended up using a lot of what they learned about traversal off the ground and implemented it into Spider-Man. And it was just so much fun. I've sunk a ridiculous amount of hours into this game. I love that. It's like a B movie, right? I wouldn't say it's as bad as a Z movie, but it's one of those movies where you go, this isn't going to be good, but you're gonna find yourself chuckling. And look, as much as I love this game and I love Insomniac, the story isn't gonna win you any awards. But it's that pure fun factor is unrivaled in many games I've played since. It feels so natural, and you just can't help but laugh. Like, again, you go back to something like Saints Row, not the new one, but something like the third or the fourth, and sure, the story's not blowing you away, but you're just laughing at the stupid jokes and the stupid over-the-top humour. And suddenly a game that if it didn't have that, might be, a 4, suddenly becomes a 7 or 8 because you're just laughing and it's just fun and you just can't believe the silliness and you don't know where it's going to go next. And that's where I felt with Sunset Overdrive. It's just, I love that game. If you haven't played it, it is free on Game Pass still.
Is it?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's still available on Game Pass. Because it's an
I'll have to
Xbox
give it a go
exclusive,
then.
right? So, yeah, it's an Xbox exclusive, so it will be on Game Pass still. Well, it was an exclusive. I don't think it is anymore. But yeah, I absolutely adored that game. It's one of
It's
those
on
that I
Game
often
Pass.
think about. Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
It's one of those that I think about going back to often, but, if you can't get trophies, what's the point playing a game?
Yeah, right.
Right.
God, playing a game for fun? Oh,
Who does that anymore? Not us, apparently.
not me.
It's one of those that if you've got an intention of playing, I won't go too deep into it, but unfortunately it's not going to get a sequel. It was well received. It is actually one of those few games that people do often bring up as we want a sequel for it. But at the time it was an Xbox exclusive and Xbox didn't want a sequel. Since then, I think I'm getting this right. I think since then, the rights or the property license, whatever you want to call it, has reverted back to Insomniac. There was a rumor a few years ago that Sony were going to put out a remaster because they trademarked the game. After Sony bought Insomniac, they trademarked Sunset Overdrive. So I think a lot of people thought there was going to be a remaster or a sequel. But since then, the company has come out and said, it's just a trademark. Don't read too much into it. And they've got Spider-Man 2, the Wolverine.
Can't wait for Wolverine.
And probably a Ratchet and Clank in development or in plans to be developed. I can't see this little game from development began in 2011. 2014 is when it came out. So, 8 years ago. I can't see there being a sequel anytime soon, and I can't see Sony, now that they own Insomniac, taking them away from two huge Marvel properties. And Ratchet Clank, which arguably might not be the biggest property in the world, but it sells. It's always guaranteed to sell for them. I can't see them taking that development team or that set of development teams away from either of those three game franchises to take a risk on a Sunset Overdrive sequel.
I mean, I agree with the Ratchet Clank thing. I've only played the new ones, but if a new one was to come out, I'd play it straight away. But yeah, no, I might have
having a drink.
It's fine. I might have to have a go at Sunset Overdrive on the Game Pass.
You should. I won't go too much into the story then, but it's just one of those that being late to Xbox, I was like, games like this would keep me going and keep me playing in my Xbox. And thankfully I found other games that did that, but I was so disappointed when it became clear it wasn't going to get a sequel. I think, I bought the season pass and everything for this game, man. I loved it.
Oh, wow.
It's just it's a real shame, and I think I would have to go back and look. I think if you were to look at my game score, game score, no, never touched the beep. I'm kidding. I play Xbox all the time, but yeah, I go back to the game score. I might be 2 or 3 achievements away from fully having the gamer score. Not
that's annoying. You should go back just to get it.
I might do. One of them, I think, is based on like get a certain amount of score. I can't remember. I don't know, but yeah, I'm close to it. I would go back to it, but have you seen how long my platinum backlog is? Jesus,
I have, and
I don't get to play games for fun anymore.
Yeah, what is playing games? I really don't understand what that means.
I'm trying to think of the last time I played a game for fun and not for fun. I guess I'm playing Dead Rising 4.
I played Fall Guys the other day for fun with the lady.
Oh, we played Fall Guys.
Oh yeah,
the lady. We played Fall Guys.
We did, yeah. That was for fun.
Okay, sure, but forget about.
But like solo, I guess.
Solo
playing.
I've been playing Dead Rising 4, but that's kind of taken a break. But except for now, I can't remember the last time. I guess Sea of Thieves. We've been playing Sea of Thieves for fun. But again, it's a multiplayer game, so yeah. So we do actually like Xbox.
Imagine if Sea of Thieves was on PlayStation.
I just sell my Xbox, mate.
Yeah, same. It's the only, literally, like, it's the only reason I have an Xbox to play Sea of Thieves for you and Jordan and Mac.
For you, it is. I play quite a few other things on there, but yeah.
Power Wash Simulator. That's up there.
What a game.
That's so good. Yeah, sorry. Anyway, carry on about.
No, I don't. So yeah, I don't think 8 years later we're not getting a sequel.
No.
And I'd love that. I think that would a full AAA sequel would be fantastic.
I like the. I was looking at Google Images, and I like the art style. The bold outlines, nice. Kind of like Borderlands and
Borderlands-esque, yeah.
I like it. I'll give it a go, definitely.
Do it and let me know. If you're playing it, I think there's co-op. I'm pretty confident there's co-op. Yeah. Hold on, I'm going to Google that now, actually.
Get in my game.
Does Sunset Overdrive have co-op? Let's have a look. You can launch into the Sunset Overdrive's co-op mode called Chaos Squad at any time. Yeah, there's a co-op mode for it.
Wicked.
Do I sense a coming Let's Play?
Probably.
Maybe.
I'd have to figure out logistics with Xbox, but yeah.
So that's... me too. But that's my second one. Did you want me to run through my honourable mentions now that I'm done?
No, we'll do that. We'll do that at the end. Do that at the end.
Okay.
Together.
I've got a rant to be had about some of this, so...
Okay, good.
It's completely off topic. Completely off topic, but we'll see.
Okay, what was some of the ones your honourable mentions, you mean? Or...
Yeah, so one of my honourable mentions, I want to rant about something to do with that, and it's got nothing to do whether it deserves a sequel or not.
Okay. Well, I'll smash through this game pretty quick. So mine is, let's see if you can guess it, because I like playing a guessing game. It's an old, so there's 3 of them originally, and I know the whole thing is about not having a sequel, but one of these sequels we can disregard because it's dog shit. And it's been a very long time since any of them came out, even that 3rd one. It's been 20 years since it came out. Big PlayStation game, the original. And the second one, PS1. Capcom. I think it was Capcom. Yeah, Capcom. You got any ideas?
No.
Okay. I don't know if you've played it. I think it's a little bit before your time. But Dino Crisis.
Oh no! Yeah, hell yeah! Let's go. Tell me about Dino Crisis,
right? Okay. Dino Crisis 3. I'm going to start off with. No. Okay. I'm going to go back. Dino Crisis 1, 1999, pinnacle of gaming in my eyes. I was 6 years old, playing this game. Basically, it was set 10 years in the future of 1999. So it was 2009. It was the first one was set in. You play as this girl, Christina. Was her name Christina?
Hey, baby.
Regina. She had cool, short bob, red hair. And basically you land on this island.
She would get it.
100%. Yeah, so you land on this island. Unbeknownst to the crew, there's 4 of you. You kind of there's loads of dinosaurs. The idea is that you kind of have to understand what's happened, and kill the dinosaurs. As far as I remember, I don't really remember. But you're in this like laboratory and jungles and stuff, and it's very obviously it's Capcom, so it's very Resident Evil. And the gameplay is the same. So you walk around, and instead of a zombie come around the corner, it's a velociraptor. Or instead of having one of the bosses in Resident Evil, like Nemesis or something, come around the corner, you have a T-Rex, something big, something awful. And you have, obviously, minimal ammo. You have to go around doing puzzles. You have the dynamic camera angles, so you turn the corner and it goes ding, and it turns, and you see it. And sometimes they're awful, but you see a different angle. And yeah, I remember playing with my dad, and he had a chipped PS1, so he just he bootlegged these games and stuff. Allegedly, that's what the that's what the people say.
I allegedly had a chipped PS2. Allegedly.
Yeah, allegedly. That's what
I might still have
the
that
newspapers
PS2.
are saying. Oh really? Oh
yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, rumor has it.
Rumor. And so you'd get to certain bits in the game, and you'd have puzzles, and he would write down the combination to a pin code, or the solution to the puzzle. So when he completed the game and he went back to play it again, he'd know what to do straight away, which is amazing. He's a genius. He doesn't play anymore, but yeah, he's cool as hell. And then number 2 was set. I can't see it directly on my screen right now, but it was in 2000. But it was set a little bit after the first game. The girl comes back, Regina. They go to this different island, and you also play as Dylan, and he was pretty cool. He had a blonde Westlife kind of hair. It was pretty cool. And
I didn't expect Westlife to come up in this one.
It's the only way I could describe it in my head. And you play different parts of the story as the different characters, but it's a little bit better because the whole idea behind this one is that there's time distortion, and that's why the dinosaurs are coming back. They come through these wormholes, and suddenly there's 6 velociraptors in this room with you, and you're like, what? But you also have cooler weapons, so you have these beam weapons, energy beams, and chain lightning guns and stuff. So it's a little bit futuristic, but it's very cool. And again, has the dynamic camera angles, the cool stories, the puzzles, everything that makes a good game great. Then number 3 was awful. It came out in 2003, so 3 years after number 2. And this came out on Xbox. And I remember being so excited because at that point I was 10. I remember being so excited that it was coming out. I spent all my pocket money, or save up all my pocket money for it, and finally got it. And it was set. It was set in 2548. So it was 300 years since. Oh, so it was 500 years set after, the first couple. Set 300 years after Earth had lost contact with its colony ship. And then suddenly it reappears near Jupiter. And this team of people, not Regina's not back, she's long dead by now. They go on the ship, and they have space suits and jetpacks and stuff. And on this ship, there's space dinosaurs. Awful, just awful.
Yeah, I didn't want to say anything. I was just there's a right. We're going off topic here.
Tangent.
There's a lot of things in life that you think can't be ruined, right? They're too cool. Dinosaurs is up there, right?
Dinosaurs are cool as hell.
But Dino Crisis 3 and Jurassic World Dominion insisted on ruining dinosaurs for everyone.
What? I don't know why they had to try.
You don't need. What's that saying? You don't need to reinvent the wheel.
Yeah.
And dinosaurs are just dinosaurs. Do I want to see dinosaurs in space? No, sir, no. I don't. Do I want to see a horde of locusts go after 80-year-old characters? No, I don't. Dominion, fuck you.
Spoilers, but yeah, anyone who's seen the film.
Fuck your spoilers. Don't see the film.
Excuse me. Yeah. yeah, so that ruined it for me. I never really finished that game. I kind of played it a little bit and was like, this isn't for me. It's too much. It's goes too far away from what was enjoyable about it. But I appreciate that they tried, basically. So that came out in 2003. I think because of that game, it kind of... They didn't make another one because of it. I mean, it's been 20 years now.
Yeah, so while you were talking, I don't know, if you got any information on the sequel? Because I've done some research.
Basically, a lot of people have been asking for it. I think they want to do it, and they've got ideas for it, but they haven't got any plans as of yet. But I'm pretty sure there was a rumor like quite recently that they were going to bring one out, that they were going to announce it. I think it was Final Fantasy or something in the end that they announced. But yeah, if you've got any more info, just hit me up.
No, not really. I just saw that. I think it was the creator was trying to get it off the ground back in 2012-ish, 2013 time. It didn't go anywhere, but he was trying. And then I think a few years ago, someone tweeted at the developers being like, give me a fucking sequel. And they basically just said, if people wish hard enough. So
yeah, which is dog shit, because a lot of people... It's a cult classic now, and a lot of people want that. Like, I'd play it day one. Even if it was just a remaster, like... And I know that's a bit shit, but you know what like Resident Evil did with like 2 and 3? They remade them into like new games, but the same story basically. Although I didn't play those, I played the originals, and I'd like to go back and play the new ones. But even if they did that with Dino Crisis, like that'd be amazing. Or if they did what they did with like Spyro and Crash, and just like remade the game exactly the same, but just with good graphics and better gameplay or movement, mechanics, that'd be so good. Like, but it's kind of sad, really. It's one of the best games up there. Like, I'd say like fan favorite games ever. Dino Crisis 1 is up there.
I mean, Turok is probably up in that kind of genre as well.
There's a new spiritual successor, isn't there? I can't remember what it's called. It's called like Primal or something.
Not sure.
Spiritual successor. I'm googling it. To Dino Crisis. It's coming out soon, I think, or it's already out.
Something's being jogged in my memory. It was shown last year, wasn't it?
Exoprimal, it's called.
Exoprimal. Is that out already, or?
It's had a trailer.
Yeah, I remember the trailer.
Exoprimal. I think it's first person though, isn't it?
I think so, yeah.
Exoprimal. Don't know. I don't think Exoprimal was the game that I was thinking of.
Oh well.
Instinction was the game I was thinking of. Instinction, and basically, it's a survival game. And there's not much about it at the moment because it's just not out yet. But it looks like you're walking around the forests and wilderness with a like an M16, trying to shoot these.
Naturally.
Yeah. So it could be quite good. Oh yeah, I just fucking love dinosaurs. Apart from Jurassic World Dominion.
Yeah. I remember these games. I don't think I have the love for it you do, but I do remember them, and that would be cool. I love a good dinosaur game, to be honest. That's all really. Like Frontiers, like their Jurassic Park sim games. They're good, but like I want a in-your-face dinosaur game. Yeah,
like I want to fight some dinosaurs.
I want to punch a dinosaur right in its dumb fucking face. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, Ark is kind of that, but it's also a bit shit.
Well, thanks to Vin Diesel's inclusion in the sequel, I'm sure we'll be riding them and drifting them.
If I could... yeah. You've got to live your life at 1 mile at a time or whatever it is.
I've not got friends, I've got dinosaurs.
I've got dinosaurs. Yeah. I mean, Vin Diesel makes me want to get it, but he's also a bit fat and old now, so...
Hey, none of that.
He is a bit
Vin
fat.
Diesel, if you're watching, I love you still.
Yeah, well. Anyway, honourable mentions. Unless you got anything more to say about Dino Crisis.
No, I've got nothing more to say on Dino Crisis.
Cool. Hit me up then. Tell me some of your.
So I'm going to get my rant out the way.
Yep, do it.
Infamous needs a sequel. Just full stop. Exclamation mark. Done. End of conversation. Right. Second Son was great. Unfortunately, it didn't receive the reception or the sales I think that it wanted. But I want a sequel to Infamous 2. I want them to go back to Cole McGrath. I want the electricity powers back. I want to continue in that world. I know the canon ending is that he dies, but they give a little tease that the lightning hits his coffin. So he could be revived. Nothing against Second Son, as I said, great game, but I want to go back to my boy Cole. Now, this is where the rant comes in. What the fuck is Sony doing right now with their film division, right? And their TV shows? We've had the Uncharted... Stay with me.
I'm with you,
It's all kind of connected. We've got the Uncharted film, right?
I haven't seen it
yet. Say what
yet.
you want. Yeah, I thought it was fine. Probably going to get a sequel. We've got HBO's The Last of Us coming on the TV.
That looks sick.
That looks like it's going to be sick. We've got God of War in development, and we've got Horizon in development. Now, how have Sony gone this wrong, right? So I saw this is what kicked me off the other day. Is I saw they're making two films, right, that I don't agree with. They're making a Days Gone film. Now, hear me out. I like Days Gone. I think Days Gone is actually a good game. But you motherfuckers can't be cancelling the sequel and shitting on that development team and then try and milk it for a film. Because what's the point? When you see the Days Gone film, and let's say it's good, where are you going to send them to get more Days Gone content? Nowhere, because you killed the franchise, you idiots. You're dumb. You're dumb, right? They're also making a Gravity Rush film. Sorry, who was asking for that?
Oh my god, how? What is the story behind Gravity Rush?
I don't want to piss off Gravity Rush fans. I've not really played it. I know that's a game that people do like and do enjoy. It's not necessarily for me, but it's not on the level of their highest IPs, right?
I'm just going to give you a quick rundown about Gravity Rush. Gravity Rush. Players control Kat, an amnesiac with the power to manipulate how gravity affects her and uses her powers to help the people of Hexville against the mysterious Nevi, helping its people against threats and uncovering the mystery behind their past. I'm not in.
Right, nerds. That's what you just said to me. Right, fucking
nerds.
But and they're doing the Ghost of Tsushima film.
That should be good.
Where I'm going with this, right, is who's asking for a Gravity Rush film? Not the masses, let's be honest. No offense to those people that like those games, but you got to be honest with yourself. It's not a blockbuster film ready to be made. You're making Days Gone when you cancelled the fucking franchise. Back a few years ago, superhero films, obviously they're everywhere now, right? They're huge, they're massive. But rewind 10 odd years, some point after Iron Man, some point around the Avengers maybe, it was really kicking off. It actually kind of didn't matter whether your superhero film was good or bad. It was a superhero film. People would go see it.
Yeah.
How did Infamous not get a sequel and a film at the same time? Sony had an exclusive superhero franchise way before Spider-Man. And this will go into, but that's probably why we fucking won't get a sequel anyway, because they've got their own superhero franchise now, thanks to Sony. Sony Spider-Man. But my point is, how did they not squirt out a superhero, an Infamous film, and a game at the same time and real capitalise on that success? Instead, they waited, did nothing, and now I've got to look forward to the fucking Gravity Rush film. Like,
I'm sure you'll be there day one to see that film. Two, I guess it's back then they didn't really have a. Did they have like a studio, a game to game, movie to game to movie? I mean,
I don't think they did, but
aspect.
They had a film studio. There was no reason why they couldn't have. They wouldn't have been, the first people to do it. We've had two made of films, etc., for ages. I just sit there and I think about how good Infamous 1 and 2 is and how much I want a sequel. And I think that feels like that could have done right, would have been a perfect 1-2 punch of superheroes are everywhere. Let's get our superhero film out. That could have probably been a franchise, especially considering it's not a goody two-shoes kind of superhero genre.
Yeah.
It's, there's morality to it. And then we'll release another Infamous game at the same time. I feel like that could have really banged for them and could have really kicked off.
Yeah.
And
Well,
instead they did nothing.
I mean, I haven't played Infamous, but at that point I might have done if there was a film and stuff about it.
Yeah.
Also, just to really dig the knife in a bit deeper, also some other things that Sony are doing are Twisted Metal,
right,
TV
of course,
series about Twisted Metal, and
Gran
Turismo, the movie.
Oh, just fuck off. No, I don't understand. Anyway, that's my little rant about how they could have nailed a fantastic Infamous franchise, but they didn't. But yeah, so nice. I'd love a sequel directly to Infamous 2. It's not going to happen. Soccer Punch of Ghost of Tsushima. That's huge for them. They're never going back to Infamous, I don't think, unless they become a 2-team development studio. But as far as we know, they're only 1 team, and they're just doing Ghost of Tsushima content. So probably not going to get anything there.
Okay.
Max Payne 4 would be lovely.
That'd
Thank
be
you
good.
very much.
I'd play that.
Give it back to Remedy. So Remedy did Max Payne 1 and 2. Rockstar did 3. Yep. I really love 3, and I think it's a worthy game in the franchise. But yeah, I would like it to go back to Remedy. It's probably not going to happen, but I didn't put it. I would rather have a Max Payne 4 over than some of the other 2 games I mentioned earlier in my actual list. But the reason I didn't include it is I still think there's a chance that happens, right? How long have we waited for an Alan Wake sequel, and now we're finally getting it?
Aren't they rebooting, remastering the Max Payne games?
So, going back to Alan Wake quickly though, we've waited I think 10 odd years for an Alan Wake sequel, and we've finally got one. So when I start saying, oh, we'll never get a Max Payne sequel, I start to think, well, actually, I think with this studio there's a chance. And then going to your point that there's not a reboot or anything, it's a remake. They're remaking the first 2 games. So that's another reason why I didn't include it on the list, because I think there's a chance if those 2 come out and bang, that might do enough to convince Rockstar to let Remedy do a Max Payne 4. But that studio is just incredibly busy as it is. It's doing Alan Wake 2 now. We know they're working on more Control in some form, and Control really banged for them. I know they're doing something multiplayer with Control as well as a proper sequel. And I know they helped out on some other games, so I don't think that we'll get Max Payne 4 anytime soon.
I'll play a Control 2, but I'm not overly fussed by it.
See, I loved that game.
So boring.
You can see me talk about it on my platinum ranking. But yeah, so those, I definitely want a sequel for those 2, and the final one I'll put out there is where the fuck is my Prince of Persia sequel? I mean, where the fuck is my Prince of Persia fucking remake?
Remake, yeah.
That was announced 3 odd years ago.
That's not coming out, is it? It's just never going to come out.
No. That's coming out. I think the remake. That's definitely coming out. I think they've spent too much money on it to not come out. And the trophies. Well, I suppose. And the trophies leaked back online again the other day, which means it's probably close to getting ready to be released.
Okay. Well, hopefully. I might play it, to be fair.
Yeah, I think we get the remake. But I think my guess would have been, and I obviously have no inside information, is when they gave Ubisoft India the Prince of Persia remake, I think their idea was this is a smaller team that probably cost them less, so they can square out a Prince of Persia remake, and it probably won't cost them too much. And worst case scenario, they've made a little bit of money. Best case scenario, they've put little investment in, and it bangs, and lots of people buy it, and then they can go forward and make a sequel. I feel like they were testing their waters by having I think India was their new studio. I think they were testing the waters on whether this smaller studio that they're not taking away from Assassin's Creed or Watch Dogs or Splinter Cell, so they're not losing money there. Just see if this small little team can do something and make a shit ton of money out of it, and if they can, then we'll move forward with sequels, because that's what at the end of the day money talks. But I think now they spent way too much money on this thing, and they just have to get it out. That I'm not convinced, no matter how well it sells, whether they'll have any interest in doing a sequel. How long have we?
Sorry, what?
I was gonna say, how long have people been asking for a Splinter Cell sequel?
Oh, yeah.
And they're finally getting it, but it turns out it's actually just a remake, which is great, and I'll play it, and I'm looking forward to it. But my point is, Ubisoft and sequels. If you're not Assassin's Creed, Watch Dogs, or some form of Tom Clancy game, you're not getting anything these days.
Oh man,
or
Ubisoft. Oh yes, Far Cry just. Oh, love Far Cry. Anyway.
But yeah, my honourable mentions.
I forgot what I was going to say. Never mind. Cool. I'll go down my list. Jump in if you want to know anything about them. Spyro. Need a Spyro 4.
Obviously.
100%, right?
Couldn't agree more.
Crash Bandicoot 4 did so well. Unfortunately, well, I don't know if it did amazing, but
I think it did well, but I think it fell victim to what I said earlier with Road Rages. That studio got swallowed up and made a COD developer. So
yeah,
but
so hopefully,
before you continue, Xbox buying out Activision, there's going to be a lot of changes. Who knows?
Yeah,
and if COD's moving. That's the big thing, right? COD's probably not going to be yearly when Xbox fully owns it, which means all those studios that got swallowed up to help make sure COD gets out every year, they've got to do something now, which means we might actually start seeing it. And, as much as it hurts, Xbox now own these previously PlayStation exclusive characters. They own Crash now. They own Spyro.
Yeah.
I
just hope they don't start pumping games out of them, of that IP.
I think if anyone was going to make a sequel, it would be Xbox. They would have the balls to just be like, fuck it, it's just money. Let's just make it. Put it on Game Pass. People will go over and play it.
Yeah. And it just needs to do what Crash Bandicoot 4 did. Just continue the story from the first trilogy and just forget about the rest. And I think because those first 3 Spyro games are so good. Like, I've actually got them on PS1 still. Just in my collection because they're just too good.
Enter the Dragonfly is the one I remember the most.
Is that PS2?
Yeah.
I never played any of the PS2 ones.
I'll get a life. Next game.
I never had I had a PS2 really late, so I didn't really play anything like that. I had an Xbox. Metal Gear. I know you're not into it, but a new Metal Gear would be cool.
Never happening, my friend.
No, I know. But it'd be cool.
And nor should it.
Oi. I think they're making a TV series, I think.
Yeah, of course.
Anyway. It would be cool to play, but I never really played any of the later ones. What it needs to be is a Metal Gear sequel based off from Raiden, which is the guy from number 2, and Revengeance, but in between those two things. That would be cool. That would be my idea. But yeah, moving on, I know you don't like Metal Gear. Bully 2. Which has obviously been in development hell for years and years, and I think it got cancelled eventually, but that'd be cool to play. I played number 1 a couple of years back again. It was alright. No, I was have to do things like run 100 kilometers and stuff like that, but I didn't realise that until like the end of the game, where I've been going around on skateboards and stuff, so I'm so far away from it. I might go back and do it. It's a clean up kind of thing. Just getting those last bits, but I might, but I'm close, but no. Jet Set Radio Future. Did you ever play that?
You just said a bunch of words at me. No, I've never heard of that.
It's like a rollerblading game.
Of course it is.
I played it when I first got my Xbox. I got a disc that was both GT 2002 or something and Jet Set Radio Future on like a double disc thing. And those were the games that you got with the console, and it was so good. I used to play that game forever. Right, I'd play it now. That was cool, and I think it'd be cool if they made a new one. Did you ever play Psyops, the Mindgate Conspiracy?
Jesus, you're showing your age. I've heard of it. I've not played of it.
That was fun. You basically just played as this guy who'd been through loads of experiments, and he had all these like telekinetic powers and stuff. You had to like escape from like the laboratory. Pretty cool. That'd be cool. It would never get a sequel. Like, it never would. But it would be cool if it did. Or if they just remastered it, remade it. with what they can do these days would be wicked. Sleeping Dogs needs a sequel.
Oh, yes, we're on the same page there. Sleeping Dogs does
that
need
is
a
a
sequel.
sequel. Did you get the platinum in the end?
It's in the backlog.
It's in the backlog. Okay, cool.
In the backlog.
And in the same vein as Sleeping Dogs, True Crime needs another sequel. But I think Sleeping Dogs is meant to be, was originally going to be a true crime sequel, but they changed it eventually. Yeah, that was wicked. True Crime, Streets of LA. Do, do, do. Anyway. Prototype. I enjoyed.
Okay.
But again, that had a sequel. But I don't know if it's just rose tinted glasses for me, that game.
Prototype 3 was cancelled.
3?
They were going to do a sequel.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they were going to do one, but it got cancelled.
There's probably a reason for that.
It came up, as I said, they were the Road Rage studio. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I saw it on their list of games.
Nice. And the last one on my list for the old mentions is Web of Shadows. Did you ever play it? Spider-Man game.
The Spider-Man game, yeah.
So good. I fucking loved that game. Like, all Spider-Man games are pretty good apart from The Amazing Spider-Man. And I've played most of them, but that one was like, I played that like 4 times through, just to get the different like story aspects. It's really cool. Wolverine was in it. Venom was in it.
Yeah,
Silver Sable was in it. Very cool. Yeah, that's it. It's my mentions.
I want to quickly throw in one more.
Do it.
Quantum Break from Remedy
Quantum
Studios.
Break. That's recent, isn't it? Like 2015 or something, right?
Yeah,
18?
something like that. It integrated live action TV show with video games.
What's the guy?
I won't go on about it too much.
Bobby Drake.
It's Iceman. Your boy Iceman.
What was his name? His fucking name?
Sean Ashmore.
Sean Ashmore.
It's Dominic Monaghan.
Dominic Monaghan.
It's also in it.
Yeah.
But yeah, just a great game, and I really liked the idea of incorporating a live-action TV show into it. That was cool, to play a game and then be able to sit down for half an hour and watch this live-action thing play out based on what you decided to do. I'm not sure that would work anymore. I think you'd probably have to ditch the live-action element, but the game was so good on its own that if you just made the game and then gave it a TV show separately, I think that'd be cool.
Yeah. I always wanted to play it, but it was Xbox exclusive, wasn't it?
Yep, I bet it is.
Yeah. So I
Game Pass.
Yeah, so I never got to play it, but I might go back and give it a go. Game Pass.
The thing
Again,
is with it being like
to play, so.
the thing with it being live action TV shows, I think you had to download 70 gigabytes of a fucking TV show alongside the game. So
it's not happening.
Not happening, bruv.
Nope.
Awesome.
Cool.
I think we have a good selection there.
Yeah, that's a pretty good one. Do you want to sign off for the folks?
Well, yeah, watch how a pro does this, right? So everyone, thank you for watching. Like, comment and subscribe and all that other shit YouTubers say to annoy you. We'll be back in a week with another episode, and we'll see if Mark's learned how to do an intro. All right, guys,
Unlikely.
cheers.
See you later,
fuck
guys.
off. Piss off. Bye, bye, bye.
Bye.